Hamantaschen with Nikki. Today we're going to be making Hamantaschen. Hamantaschen are generally associated with the Jewish holiday of Purim. These delicious triangle-shaped cookies are said to symbolize the hat that Haman, the villain of Purim, wore. Today we're going to be making two different types of Hamantaschen, raspberry-filled Hamantaschen and blueberry-filled Hamantaschen, though they said that traditionally the oldest filling was proved. Either way, these super yummy cookies are going to be baking in our oven soon enough, so let's get our hands dirty. For this recipe, you'll need 1½ sticks of butter, or 6 ounces, and 1/3 cup of sugar, 1 teaspoon of salt. Go ahead and scale all of this into your stand-up mixing bowl. Next, we'll have our dry ingredients, 2 1/4 cups of all-purpose flour, and 1 tablespoon of cornstarch. Lastly, 1 egg. And I choose to season my dough with lemon zest. However, you can use vanilla, almond extract, orange, etc. Up to you. I'm going to infuse my batter with lemon zest. A great tip is that you always want to make sure you zest into the vessel that you're mixing. You don't want to lose any of those beautiful oils that contain the flavor and the aroma. Now we're ready to mix our batter. First, we start with the butter and the sugar. We're going to emulsify these really well in the mixer with the paddle attachment. And then we're going to add the egg. Once that's nice and creamy, we'll finally add the dry ingredients. At this point, we'll add our egg. And I'll increase the speed just a little to make sure that the fats emulsify really well. This is what you want your emulsification to look like. As you can see, the butter doesn't look broken. All the ingredients are nice and smooth. You'll want to start with room temp butter in order to get this result. Now we're ready to add all of our dry ingredients. Make sure you stop your mixer, add all of them at once, and once you start your mixer, careful to start it at a low speed so you don't get flour everywhere. The cornstarch is the secret ingredient in this recipe. It's what really makes the dough soft. Cornstarch doesn't have gluten in it, so what it does is that it helps hydrate the batter without making your dough stiff. If you notice your dough is a little bit dry, right here we have kind of like a crumbly texture. I like to add a tablespoon or 2 of milk. This will help bring the dough together, add moisture, and add a little bit of softness. This is what you want your dough to look like. It'll come together nicely, not crumbly, super soft, beautiful. Super important. We're gonna go ahead and wrap our dough with plastic wrap and put it in the refrigerator for about 20 minutes to get nice and cold. This makes the dough a lot easier to work with so it doesn't get soft and sticky, and it holds its shape really nicely. You wanna make sure that you get your dough as flat as possible as it will chill faster, and then just wrap her up and in she goes. Ta-da! So I've got my chilled dough, my jams, and some bench flour. We'll need this to help roll out the dough so it doesn't stick. So I've decided to divide my dough in half just to make it easier to work with. Oftentimes, as soon as you take a dough out of the refrigerator, it's a little too cold. If you try rolling it out right away, it'll crack. So what I like to do is kind of like massage it a little bit just to get it nice and like smooth again. So when you roll it out, it doesn't break on you. Make sure you flour your dough as well as your surface so that it doesn't stick to the table. And you might also need to flour your rolling pin so that your dough doesn't stick to that. You start in the middle and you go down and up, and then rotate. Make sure it doesn't stick to the table. Start in the middle, go up, and then down. And continue until you have about 1/4 inch thickness. I think this is about good. So I have a 3-inch cutter right here, but you don't need to purchase any special equipment for this. You can go ahead and use a cup or a glass or any sort of sharp 3 to 4-inch round tool of choice. This is very important. You don't want to overfill your Hamantaschen. 1 teaspoon. Next, you'll use a little bit of egg wash to help stick the sides. And then we will first start by folding the point. So we have a nice little tip, and then we'll fold the bottom up. This one will go under, and this one will go over, pinch the sides, and lastly, egg wash to finish. So here we have our Hamantaschen. They're all lined up like little soldiers ready to go in the oven. I've had my oven preheating at 350 degrees. We're gonna pop these in for 10 minutes first. I'll check on them, rotate them, and then add minutes accordingly. Everyone's oven is different. So I would say anywhere between 10 to 20 minutes total baking time. So these are our Hamantaschen straight out of the oven. They baked for about 20 minutes at 350. As you can see, we lost a few soldiers. This is what happens when you either don't seal your Hamantaschen properly or you overfill. But we have some other beautiful looking Hamantaschen. Either way, they'll all taste delicious. Thanks again for spending some time with me making Hamantaschen today. I'm Nikki, this is Noshin with Nikki, and I'll see you next time.